My name's Milo, and I'm streaming stuff. Games, mostly. Yes, video games. So today, we're going to be playing a Konami, I don't know. It's kind of a franchise, I guess. I'm mostly going to focus on Motocross Maniacs Advance, but before we get there, I want to show you a little bit of the history of the franchise. So we're starting on the NES with Motocross Champion, and I say NES, it's really the Famicom. This game, was, okay, Renshu Osuru, that's practice. Shiai Osuru, Shiai, I don't know what that is, password. So Shiai's probably like the main event, the real thing. So we're just going to do practice. Show you what the game's like. There's a few courses to pick from. Hello Gibbon, how's it going? So this is, at first glance you could maybe think of it as kind of an Excitebike clone, but in actuality it's a little more, I guess, advanced than that, but also, you know, part of Excitebike's strength is its simplicity. So as you can see here, we're actually going around a full course, cornering and stuff. Excitebike is all just in one direction, but it's a similar kind of dirt bike going over ramps setup. So yeah. The other games in the series after this, there's three more after this, and they sort of go for different styles of gameplay than what this is going for. So we won't spend too long here, but yeah, I don't even know if you consider this part of the series really, considering it's a little bit different from the other ones that come later. But yeah, let's see if we can do a little trick here. Boom! Nope. Okay, those are small jumps. Woo! Yeah. Turning the handlebars in midair. It's a cool trick, right? Yeah. Yeah. Nice effect though with the crowd roaring and flashing as you do a big jump off those ramps. That's a nice little background thing that's going on. Don't know how many laps there are, but yeah, that's basically this game. But I just wanted to show that off real quickly. So why don't we move on next? Because the main event is actually sort of a sub-series to this. That was Motocross Champion, and we're actually going to move on to Motocross Maniacs. So let's see here. I'll just have to change the thingy over. Whoops, nope. Oh, gosh. Hold on a second. Okay. Play. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Given saying I was never great at Excitebike. Yeah, I played an Excitebike game on this stream, and it was ages ago. It was BS Super Mario Boon Boon Battle Stadium Excitebike. Well, those words are in some kind of order. Yeah, I didn't say. Motocross Champion was 1989 on the Famicom in Japan only. It was made by Human Entertainment, the same devs behind Clock Tower, which I played last October. The similarity to this Excitebike was really superficial at best. But anyway, this is actually a Konami compilation game called Konami GB Collection Volume 3. There was a similar... there's a weird history with these things. So it's taking old Game Boy Konami games basically and re-releasing them in a multi-pack. So that happened in 1997 in Japan, and it was on the Game Boy, so it was just a compilation. But they later released it in Europe in 2000 for the Game Boy Color, and all 4 games featured had been fully colorized. So this happened with a few other compilations as well. There was one, the Castlevania Game Boy games, I believe, got colorized in this fashion, but I don't think any of them ever came out in North America. So the one we're looking at today is Bikers, which is what Motocross Maniacs 1 was renamed to. So Motocross Maniacs was released, I believe, in all regions, or at least in Japan and North America, as Motocross Maniacs. But for this EU compilation, where it was colorized, they changed its name to Bikers. So why don't we go versus computer just to see. And there's a few different courses to choose from. We'll, I guess, stick to the first one, because like I said, we're only here for a little bit before moving on, just to show the history of the series. So you'll see this, the next 3 games in the series take after this one very much in style, and it's an odd little kind of almost a mix of racing and 2D platforming, sort of, because you have all these ramps, you have to use your nitro boost at opportune times in order to make it past some of the tricky ramps or the hazards like this mud pit here. You can do a wheelie, which can help you get up on low platforms apparently. Notice also that when the bike is going up a ramp, it appears to be floating above the surface. That's a little off. But yeah, I really like this game and this setup. It's a nice little thing, but the sequels really expand on it and fill it out and make it more, yeah, more cool, really. But yeah, this is the colorized version of Motocross Maniacs. Well, like I said, this is only going to appear in the EU-only Konami GB Collection Volume 3, which was known as Volume 2 in Japan. They shuffled that around as well. So it's all there in the Wikipedia article, but it can take a while to get your head around it. But yeah, so the tire pickup, there's all these power-ups you get during this these races. The R letter gives you a tire upgrade, so you don't go as slowly through mud pits, and gives you more nitro boosts, as you can see on the bottom right of the screen. That's how many nitros I have. I have so many that it's gone off the edge now, and like it's above the maximum that the screen can show, but I have quite a few. But you can run out. See if I spam it. Oh wow, I can fly. Yeah, if you do spam it, I will run out, as you can see. Oh, and now I don't have enough to get. You need to use a nitro. You're sort of using them all the time. It's a really renewable resource in this game. But as you use them, it lets you go up into the loops and stuff and get more of them. So I guess the only other thing to say about this game is that... Oh, there were the two other power-ups, of course. One is the jet propulsion fuel, which is a J power-up. I think I must have got one because according to the manual, what that allows you to do is to use the boosts in midair, which I was doing, so I guess I had that. You can also find mini Maniacs, or as they're called in the sequel, mini riders, who are like little toy motorbikes that once you pick up this particular power-up, they follow behind you. I have no idea what that does. I think it might just be a little secret that you can discover and just have fun with. But that's the thing about this game. The jet propulsion one and the mini Maniacs are strictly available as rewards for doing secret tricks. So you can see how I did a wheelie there to get up on that ramp when I normally wouldn't have been able to. So yeah, apparently if you do backflips or front flips at certain parts of the course and it doesn't tell you where, you will discover these secret power-ups, the J and the mini bike thing. But yeah, they also come up in the sequels, so we might see those later as well. Yeah, I guess the only thing I want to say about this game is that you can tell it's sort of early Game Boy origins because of how simplistic it is, but you really notice it when we start playing the sequels. Oh, there we go. There's some more complicated setups for the ramps coming in as we continue progressing in this game, as we can see. So that's cool, but we're not really here to play Motocross Maniacs 1, so we'll shut that off and we'll see how the series continues to evolve by moving on to this one, and this should work. Yeah, so that one, I'm not sure who developed it. All the listings online just say it's Konami, so I don't know. See if there's an attract mode here. Yep, there'll be a little something. Oh, it's just a demo reel. Okay. But you can see from the UI here on this screen that it's been fleshed out a bit, and the backgrounds are amazing. This is a native Game Boy Color game. It hasn't been colorized from a Game Boy port. It was developed for the system, and the music's been given a facelift, you might say. Oh, there you go. He's just unlocked a mini bike, the demo guy. Isn't that cute? That's amazing. I really like this. Okay, but let's give it a go ourselves. This had a link cable mode, by the way, and course edit. Now I see that. Yeah, championship will have AIs, why not? I'm definitely a rookie. Yeah, so this one doesn't give you the option to pick what course you start on. We're just going through them. So Maniacs 1 had a timer, and you'd get T power-ups to extend your timer. That's been sort of reworked to give it a universal explanation, and now you get gas to fill up your petrol tank. And there's all these other little flourishes you can see as I go over some jumps. The biker was doing little, that little hand gesture, really cute. And that's just one of the many ways this game has been expanded on over the first Motocross Maniacs. Oh, the other one is that Nitro is now shown in a number if you go over the maximum that's allowed by that UI element. So that's nice. And I picked Championship, but there doesn't appear to be any other riders. There don't appear to be any other riders on the course for some reason. So yeah, whatever. But yeah, I'm really impressed how much of an upgrade this game is over the first one. This did come out in 1999, so this actually was released before the original one got colorized for the European compilation. Let's see, where did the demo mode do the backflip to get the? Oops, it might have been over this one. So, no, that wasn't. But yeah, doing little tricks it's not just for fun. It will unlock those secrets, but it also is fun. So I've got the tire upgrade. You can see in the bottom right now that there are spaces for where the jet fuel will go, and also the mini bike thing. Well, that's cute. So the menus have also been given a huge upgrade. So the team behind this game, from what I could figure out, and I think I saw the logo on the startup, but I was a bit distracted. Konami Computer Entertainment Osaka, or Osaka, sorry. Konami has had studios in a lot of different cities, and you'll see them credited variously in different places. I know it mostly from Castlevania, and how there's different teams and internal studios that make different games, and that gives some of them priority and stuff. So there's the Kyoto and the Tokyo ones, I know for sure. But yeah, Osaka. Oh, see the big tire in the floor? I bounce off that. So we're introducing new track elements that we can interact with here. And I have to wheelie to get out of that water pit apparently. Yeah, so apart from this game, I looked up what other things the Osaka Konami studio had done. What else? What did they do? It's a lot of Konami stuff, like sports games and like the track and field kind of thing. They've done some Beatmania and Poppin' music games. They also were responsible for Hybrid Heaven, which is a really weird wrestling-based RPG on the 64. Now, what is that? Oh, I ran out of petrol. Oh well, that's fine. Oh yeah, they also did that really cool installment in the Gambara Goemon franchise on the DS, where it was all the visuals all looked like a woodblock painting. It was really an interesting thing to go for. Oh, that ramp was being held up by a blimp. That's amazing. Yeah, backflips, love it. I've been playing a lot of Alto's Odyssey over the holidays, and from playing that, it makes me always want to do backflips when I go off stuff. That's a really cool game, by the way. Oops. Okay, so we got a wheelie to get over these little things. Ooh. Now I had that J power up, but I seem to have lost it when I crashed. So I guess that's a mechanic. You only maintain certain power-ups as long as you stay racing properly. But yeah, again, the music in the background is amazing. Like, really cool, energetic kind of thing that I'm really digging. Okay, I got an SS. I don't know what that is. SS. I wouldn't deign to guess. Anyway, so that's Motocross Maniacs 2. What time is it? Yeah, we better get the new one. What I'm really here to play today is actually the third one in the series, or fourth, I guess, if you count Motocross Champion. And this one, oddly, after the last few, wasn't even released in Japan. So is this correct? Seems like it. So yeah, this is on the Game Boy Advance. It's called, as you might guess, Motocross Maniacs Advance. Actually, I neglected to mention that as the first Maniacs Game Boy game was changed to be called Bikers on that EU release. The second one was Crazy Bikers in the EU. This game also has its own PAL title, where it's known as Maniac Racers Advance. Not too different, but yeah, Motocross Maniacs is the Japanese and North American title. Heard your name? No, I didn't say your name. Danger Mouse, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Yeah, so let's start this, shall we? I will talk more about it as we go on, but we'll do a new, yeah, AAA, that's me. What's in our option menu? Level, normal. Normal's fine for now, I guess. I named my trial thing AAA, so... Okay, so there's a few different modes. Action mode is like minigames, and that has the potential for multiplayer as well, but we don't have the link cable on this emulated system. So I guess we'll just start with championship. Now, what you'll notice, oh, that's a nice little background. But yeah, what you'll notice straight away, and you can see on the cover art on the sides of the screen, this game has a character focus, unlike the previous ones. We're given a cast of colourful weirdos to play with. They don't get their full bios here, but presumably they're in the manual. I couldn't find a scan of the manual, but I found someone's sort of walkthrough that they'd written up on IGN FAQ's site, whatever that is, that has kind of, yeah, these bios typed out. So let's introduce each of these characters, shall we? This guy is TJ, he's from America. We've got his blood type and everything written out here, but that's not really important. He's a stunt biker who wants to show the world his racing talent. He always tries to exude a cool image, but secretly deep down he really wants to open a tea shop that serves tea and crepes, and he will use the prize to start. I'll go this way. Roberto. Yes, okay, the Swiss guy. He is a Swiss fashion model that took an interest in motocross when he did a commercial shoot featuring racing clothing and accessories. He wants to wear a helmet to protect his good looks, but refrains because it would rob the world of his beauty. His main purpose in entering the race is to show the world that he's the best looking and most skilled motocross rider. There's two secret characters. This is a robot and he's involved in the plot. I'll explain the plot later. And a bull, a living, you know, cows are living, but yeah, a cow that can ride a motorbike. Anyway, Yulia is from Russia. She's a former nanotechnology scientist from a secret organization. Sounds like me. She was fired when she wasted the funds on making an expensive nanomachine, which was totally useless for the organization. Now, spoilers, that's actually related to the robot character that I talked about before. Now she drives an ice cream truck to earn money to fund her next project. She hears about the tournament and plans to win the prize and sell them with her ice cream to earn even more money. Pohaku is he the Hawaiian guy? Yes, he's Hawaiian. Now this game is actually made in Hawaii. Konami had a studio in Hawaii from 2000 until 2006 when it closed down. And Konami, Hawaii, yeah, it's an interesting place. But anyway, he's a Hawaiian-born. This guy, Pohaku, is a Hawaiian-born dirt biker who enjoys riding his bike on the mountains. He finds the tournament a good way to test his skills outside of the islands. Also, the people to whom he owes money don't mind receiving the donuts and cookies as payment. I will explain that in 1 second. But big army, a Brazilian government FDA inspector. I don't know if Brazil has an FDA in those terms, but the equivalent. Who wants to join the US Army. He injured his eye while investigating a marinara sauce factory. His eye has healed since then, but he keeps the eye patch on because of the rough image. He is on a secret mission to capture the malfunctioning food service robot. And our last character here is Lexi. She's an Australian. She was raised by her uncle Lex, former motocross champion who lives in the outback. She spent her childhood chasing off illegal poachers on her dirt bike, protecting all her animal friends. She wants to earn the prize so she can feed cheeseburgers to the hungry kangaroos. Now, you really shouldn't do that because kangaroos are vegetarians, but okay. Oh yeah, Gibbon insane. The Swiss man is very stupid. Gibbon actually lost an aunt to not wearing a helmet on her motorcycle. So yes, safety is very important, especially on a vehicle like a motorbike. Always wear a helmet, people, and whatever other safety clothing you can. You know, padded jackets and stuff. Like, it's no joking matter. Yes, and Danger Mouse picked up on the sort of toy room aesthetic of one of the tracks shown in the demo reel, and comparing it to Micro Machines, which is really an amazing game. But anyway, why don't we get started with the game? This is Lexi. I'm going to be picking her because she's Australian, and let's go with that to identify with her. So in the first cup, Mukau Stadium, Crystal Cavern, and Pocket Circuit. Some cute little images there. Okay. So yeah, why don't we explain the plot of the game? We'll introduce ourselves to the gameplay elements first. So there's actually 4 concurrent races on screen now. Whoops. Compared to only one at a time, as we saw in previous installments. But yeah, it's all the same kind of mechanics. We're getting petrol cans to fill up our gas tank. We've got the nitro boosts, which are shown in the sort of top middle left area. And yeah, we're going to be trying to make certain jumps to pick up power-ups, and they're all going to affect our abilities. And we've got the same elevated ramps and loops, all that kind of thing. Now, it seems to me that it's important to not do too many loops when we're in this race situation, because we can actually get through faster by sticking to the ground. So if we don't need those power-ups, we should stay out of the loops if we're falling behind, as we are. That is, if position is important to me, which at the moment it's not really. I'm just acquainting myself with how the game functions. But yeah, we can see that the course layouts are much more complicated and another word that means complicated. Compared to previous games in the series, we've got many different tracks if we go higher or lower. You know, a bit like a Sonic game or something, but a lot more crossover, I think. So that's interesting, an interesting factor. Again, I'm crashing and I've lost something, but yeah, let's point this out right away. These little, yeah, that little flashing circle I just picked up, that's the same mini Maniacs mechanic that was in the previous 2 games, but in this game, each rider actually has, since they have their own look and personality and background, they also have their own, oh, I've run out of petrol. Yeah, they also have their own little follower, and in my case, I have these little cute kangaroo animal buddies. It's amazing. Do we have a limited number of continues? Interesting. All right, we're gonna have to pass and do well in order to progress, it looks like. We don't just get a free pass like in Motocross Maniacs 1. Oopsie. Yeah, and that's what happens. You can, of course, adjust your position or your sort of orientation to do flips and stuff, but you have to be careful. What? Oh, yeah, that's right. So there's another mechanic in this game that's actually new for this one. You can pick up, like, items and power-ups that you can use to get ahead of a competition. So someone's been shooting missiles at me, that's the issue. Now, I picked up a blue orb, which I've just shot and blown someone up, so I guess that's what that does. Now, ahead of me is the stupid Swiss man, who we are going to have a vendetta against, I think, because of his attitude towards safety. But to be honest, I don't think many of these other characters can really talk, because I don't think any of them are actually wearing helmets. So, setting a bad example here for the children, and even the adults, in fact. But yeah, I seem to have introduced Gibbon to this series. He's never heard of it, but he's impressed. I think I must have read about it on Hardcore Gaming 101. A lot of my streams are either someone suggests it to me, like the lovely Gibbon here, sometimes will put me onto something cool to play. Sometimes I'll just find something by browsing Moby Games, but I also find a lot of things just by reading whatever articles are posted on HD 101 and finding out about new things that way. So they have a pretty great article on this series. All the installments that I've shown off here today, including this one. So I'm spamming a few more nitros right at the end there to try and stay ahead, but I didn't manage to get first place. I wonder if they'll let me progress from second. Oh, that's right. I didn't actually finish last time. I got eliminated because of a lack of, what was it? Did I run out of gas? I think I ran out of gas. Anyway. Yes, I knew you were talking about micro machines, Danger Mouse, even when you didn't say the right words. Yeah, okay. So, let's see what the next stage is. But I do want to talk about the plot, which is pretty absurd and wacky, as you might have gleaned from some of the character bios already. But it shows a real sense of humor and fun. Oh, I don't even know what that was, but I ran into it. Oh, there's more. It looked like Knuckles the Echidna. I don't know. Anyway, this is a beautiful stage. The sort of rainbow kaleidoscopic ice crystals. Very nice looking. Whoops. I don't know what that is. There's all these power-ups that I am a bit lost on what they do. Oh, okay. So the flashing colored circles give me different different items to use against other races. So this is a mine. I'm going to drop it, and yeah, I'm going to blow up the Swiss guy. A robot. Let's see. Plenty of petrol. We've got a missile. What place are we in? There's a lot to keep track of. You need to make sure you're getting those gas pickups. Well, I think that was my own mine that I just ran over, so I'm going to refrain from dropping mines. They're just a hazard for myself. I've got 40 nitros. Let's use a few. Oh, that was already the end. Wow. Well, I managed to get second place again. Wow. Ooh. But yeah, between all the different things you're juggling and the items and your position in the race, it's pretty complicated. But that's fun. So here's what we saw in the demo reel, and I really dig this kind of aesthetic where you're a tiny character inside just a normal room, but everything's giant because of the relative scale. So Micro Machines is a good one that does this, as we mentioned. What else? Infinite Mini Golf from Zen Studios had one of its aesthetics was you're small inside a giant bedroom, and there's objects all around that you can interact with. Yeah, good missile use. Oh, some nice little Lego, or rather generic construction block landscapes there. Oh, I love this. This is so cool. I don't know where it first started for me, but I remember Super BC Kid on the SNES, which is I think like the 5th or 6th installment in the PC Genjin series by Hudson. It had a level where you're basically on a Jurassic Park island, but then you enter a house and go through a living room. And you're tiny, but everything's giant. And I guess the implication is that it belongs to a dinosaur, because you later go inside a glass that the dinosaur is drinking from, and you get sucked into a straw and end up inside the dinosaur's body. Man, that game's great. I should play that on stream, but I know it too well. I like discovering new things on stream, just as hopefully my viewers do, as Gibbon mentioned before. Seeing something for the first time. I'm often seeing things for the first time on stream too, and experiencing them for the first time, which I really appreciate. It's part of why I decided to do the whole thing in the first place. Hey, kangaroo time. Oh, I lost it, I think. I don't know what the animal buddies do exactly, but I love having them around because that's another one of my pet loves about games, is when you get a little companion character that follows you around. Anyway, because of my consistency in getting second place, I've actually reached joint top of the leaderboard, so that's nice. I think I might get the first place cup. Hooray, I did. There you go. I don't know why it decided I was better than TJ, but there we go. We got the gold trophy. Hooray! Right. So how many cups are there exactly? Let's cycle through. Topaz and then ruby. We've stepped up to 4 tracks instead of 3. Sapphire, clear novice, tomahawk, emerald, diamond. There are so many, but I think there are some repeated tracks through these different cups. You might have seen back there was actually a course called Lagrange Point, and that's based on an old Konami Famicom RPG, so that's kind of neat, but I'll talk more about that if we get to it. Anyway, let's start this. I do want to talk about the overall plot of the game because it's quite ridiculous, but if I ever get a spare moment, I'll summarize it for you. I've got it kind of pulled up here, but I can't really take my eyes off the screen for too long. Oh, I love this. We've got all the same kind of ramps and stuff, but it's all organically, kind of naturally made out of the landscape. Although it's kind of, the landscape is in that sense kind of twisted into strange and unnatural shapes. Kind of reminds me of a Sonic game or something, where you get roads that just go in crazy loops for no reason. And they would never do that in real life, but it facilitates the gameplay. Anyway, the plot of this game is that there's a crazy robot that was constructed for the purpose of a food service, but I think it went nuts and made too much food, so well, that's tricky. You got to do a little backflip and then land on your feet. It's very Trials actually, but we can talk about that later too if you are familiar with other games in a similar genre to this. I want to discuss those. But anyway, so the robot found something called racing energy somehow, and it wants to hold a racing tournament to find who has the most racing energy so that it can exploit that for some reason. But yeah, so it's put on this tournament, and the prize is all the food that it's made. So I can never pull that one off. I guess you got to boost right at the top so you have a bit more time to flip around, but I haven't even been trying for flips most of the time because it's quite finicky. Your character moves very quickly, and then getting back into place is tricky. It's not quite like Alto's Odyssey, which is a bit more relaxed. This is quite frantic, to be honest. But I'm out in front, so that's not too bad. So the prize for the tournament is like 10,000... Okay, I can read it now. A food service robot gone bad has developed a diabolical plan to take over the world using racing energy found only within the top racers of the world. To gather such a group of racers, he has staged a fake tournament with a large cash prize, which he doesn't have, but he has the next best thing. The winner will receive 10,000 donuts, 10,000 cookies, 10,000 cheeseburgers, and to top it all off, a large cake. Being a food service robot does have its perks. This unbelievable prize has lured the wacky racers, strange people who race for food, to all come together for a crazy adrenaline-pumping race. Most won't admit it, but it was the cake that convinced them to come. So that's why you hear in some of the bios that they're going to do something or other with this food. So Yulia was going to sell some of the food in her ice cream truck, and Lexi was going to feed 10,000 cheeseburgers to kangaroos, which again, bad idea. Do not feed cheeseburgers to kangaroos. That is not on. I mean, for a start, you're perpetuating the beef industry, which... ironically, you'd be better off getting kangaroo burgers because kangaroo meat is a more sustainable and ecologically friendly meat than cow meat. But anyway, yes, Gibbon saying that he's enjoying the odd background choices from giant toy room to seaside town. I enjoy that too. They've put a lot of creativity and imagination into the settings of this game, and I really like that. It's not just a dirt racetrack over and over again. So that's one of the strengths of this game, I think. Gibbon actually has a wallaby farm nearby. That's interesting. Wallaby farm. We actually have wild kangaroos quite close to us. We're near a university campus, which has a lot of wide open green space, but there's also greenway and bush surrounding it and around this suburb. So there's wild kangaroos living very close to me right now, and they're actually kind of a hazard for the roads sometimes, so you do have to be careful. But yeah, it's interesting that you would have that in America. But yeah, wallabies are cool. Wallabies are probably the ones that are following her around because of their size. They're quite small. But yeah, this track was called DDX Mix, I think. So I think it's playing on the DDR series that Konami owns. Oh, I forgot something. I forgot something in all those other games I was playing, but you can actually hold the up and down directional buttons while doing a jump, and it will affect your jump trajectory. So if you're holding down, you won't go as high, and holding up will actually send you higher on a jump. That's what I read anyway. I don't actually know if that's true in this game, but I definitely read that about the previous 2 games on Game Boy. Yeah. Anyway, I think it is really cool that some of the settings they use for this game, not only do they have different things like the bedroom and the seaside town and stuff, but basing it off other Konami franchises is a fun little thing. It's not even a, YY Crazy Racers game. It's part of another franchise, but they've got those references. It really reminds me of when I played Rainbow Island's Putty's Party, which was a Taito sort of arcade vertical platformer, but because of the Taito connection, they had levels that were, or even entire worlds that were based on other Taito franchises. So there was one that Taito's shooter franchise, not Space Invaders, but what is it, like, is it Xevious? Konami is Gradius, Namco is Galaga, but Xevious is also Namco, I think. Anyway, whatever, it's not important. Yeah, point is there were a couple of worlds in Putty's Party that were based on other Taito franchises, which was really nice. But as opposed to that game, this one's in full color, so you can get some quite garish backgrounds, as you could see. But now we're back to Moo Moo Meadows, or whatever this one was called. One we've seen before. So hopefully that means we should be able to do better at it, but really, in effect, I don't think that's going to be a factor, because I'm really just reacting to the thing that's 10 meters in front of me at all times. Until you really memorize these courses, I don't think that element of planning is going to come into it much. Oh, I got the SS again. I haven't still figured out what that is exactly, but this one, okay. So the orb gives me a shield that will rotate around me. Let's try and do a flip. Yeah, oh, that felt good. Oh, lovely. Cool. Whoops, yeah, I screwed one up. It's okay, my wallaby friend is still with me. I was hoping there would be more voice clips to show off some silly accents, because as we know, this game was made in Hawaii, and if there was an Australian accent, it would be very fake and amusing, I'm sure. Much like the enjoyment that I derived from playing Danger Girl last year. I believe that was in November. There was a character in that, Sydney, who was supposed to be Australian, but played by an American voice actress, and doing a very amusingly staged job of it. Okay, I think we're pretty well... Oh no, we're second. Let's boost a few times. We've got 30 nitros stored up. I don't think they carry over between races, so we just... Oops, yeah. Like I said, we're going to avoid that just to get a bit faster, but luckily Roberto crashed his bike, so we're doing alright. Good, first place. Ooh. So yeah, it's interesting that Konami would have a studio in Hawaii. Hawaii has this interesting cultural thing where it's halfway between Japan and America, and there's a lot of Japanese immigrants or people, expats living there, so there's a kind of a blending of cultures there. Anyway, we've done well on the first 2 cups, and yeah, this one has 3 new courses for us to see, so we'll keep going on, I guess. I'll show off some mini games later. Actually, why don't I show off a different racer? We've had Lexi for 2 cups now, and I really like her design, which you can actually see on the box art. She's on the right side of the screen. But yeah, we'll give someone else a go, I guess. Who else do we have? We go with the unsafe Swiss man. Yulia's pretty cool. She's like the femme fatale Russian type. Kohaku and Big Army kind of have a bit of crossover here. Like large dark-skinned gentlemen with spiky shoulder pads. But very different backgrounds, as we heard earlier. This guy being the food inspector, and this guy, what was his deal? He was like just like a rough dirt biker guy. Why don't we go for the other guy who's on the title screen, TJ. He wants to project like he's really cool, but he actually wants to open up a tea and crepe shop. That's his gimmick, I guess. Okay, so new course, Blue City. Wow, moody. I like this. Whoa, what's going on here? Are we underwater? Yeah, we are. This is like Atlantis type stuff. Glowing technological ruins. Okay, so there are some voice clips. TJ said something there, I didn't quite catch it. GBA sound compression might be working against us there. Oops. Okay, I'm still picking up a few petrol pickups. Yeah. Nice. This is crazy. This is a much more science fictional type course. I'm not sure how to... Oh, okay, I fell down a well. Fantastic. I can't tell how to get items in the middle of loops. There might be a way to drop off while you're on the top, possibly. But yeah, what I really like about this game is how they've taken the sort of basic framework of the first two Motocross Maniacs games on Game Boy. Oh, I've run out of nitro. That's a problem. I better be a bit more careful with it. Yeah, so they've taken that. Okay, so you can apparently drive directly up vertical walls. Oh, he's got a little popper. That's adorbsable. I like that. Anyway, yeah, they've taken that framework and they've layered these really interesting and cool aesthetics on top of them. So it's the same gameplay, but you're just constantly being surprised by each new level, and I really love that. One thing I will say though is the play control maybe was a little better in the previous Game Boy ones. The twitchiness of the character kind of makes it difficult at times, and I end up crashing a lot more than I need to, but I think with a bit of practice I'm getting used to that. So yeah, it's a little harder to keep your control, and I've crashed many times, as you can see. Yeah, but I think the game makes up for it in these other ways, like having it centered around these different characters with their personalities and designs is a really big plus in my book. It makes me engage with the game a lot better. More than just having a faceless guy in a motorbike helmet. Yeah, so it was cool, the Konami studio in Hawaii, which is KCH, Konami Computer Entertainment Hawaii. Oh man, I've almost lapped these guys, I'm so far ahead. That's amazing. Oh wait, no. I've misread the bottom screen. There was a 1P over my head, which I thought meant I was in first place, but it just means I'm player 1. And my actual position was next to that. So I've had a bit of a misinterpretation there. Oh, the way it's shaken out, everyone is actually on equal points. But here we are in the North Pole with a nice holiday-themed course, which we're a bit late for, but yeah, Christmas trees everywhere. Oops. Whoa. Yeah, like, the speed with which I fell there made it really hard to react to whatever was going to happen next. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about with the play control. Wow, I love this. like when I came around that loop, I did a wheelie, or a fronty, what are they called? Where you're on your front wheel for a while. Stoppy? No, that's when you stop. It's like a front wheelie. I'm trying to remember what it was called in like Grand Theft Auto when I used to do that. I don't know. Anyway. Ah, the missiles. Just like in Mario Kart, you can get very quickly screwed over by your opponents just throwing random stuff at you. Woo! Oh, the tricks. When you pull them off, they look amazing. They feel great too. And of course, when you have a dog companion with you, everything feels better. I hope someone gets a cat companion, because honestly, I'm more of a cat person. Wow, this course is really... what's that word I was trying to think of before? Oh, seriously? The missiles are coming thick and fast. Ornate? I don't know. Something like that. Oops. We need to boost off this so we go far enough back to get out. Tricky. Very tricky. Oh, and that beeping was because I was running out of petrol. How did I do? Second place again. That's okay. Whew. Wow. Anyway, I didn't actually say this was made in 2002, so it was a mere 3 years after the previous installment, but the difference in the aesthetics is huge, and I guess mostly due to the power of the Game Boy Advance, but also the imagination of the people in Hawaii who developed it. And I mentioned that thing about the blending of cultures because you might notice that if I ever get to the credits, you'll see a lot of names that appear to be Japanese in ethnicity and also other kinds of names. Yeah, anyway. It's a shame that that studio had to close down. They made a few cool things before they did. So like I said, they were formed in 2000. They did some installments in the DDR series, Dance Dance Revolution, which you might have seen at arcades. Wait a minute, DDR. Yeah, DDR, right? Or is that Namco? Hang on a sec. Or does Namco do the other one? Konami has... oh gosh, I should research them. Surely if it's a Konami studio, yeah, they own DDR. Did Konami do that Mario one? There was a DDR Mario mix. Oh gosh. I feel clueless right now. There's this whole thing where there's like a clone of DDR that doesn't do the cardinal directions for its buttons. It has diagonal steps and a center step as well. So one of them is the original, and one of them was like a copycat. Oh, I always screw that one up. I shouldn't go for the higher read all the time. Because like I said, doing loops all the time is a little bit slower, so you might end up falling behind while you're trying to get these power-ups. It's ironic, really. What else do they do? So, yeah, the Hawaii studio also did a few installments of the Frogger series. Quite a few, actually. A lot of the attempted modern revivals, I think, were done by them at various times. One on the DS, one on the 360. I think one for smart devices as well, possibly. But yeah, one of them had a realistic frog look for Frogger. A few of them had this sort of cartoony character look for Frogger. Yeah, there's been a lot of attempts to revive that, but I don't think any of them have really been successful. Hackman's been much more successful at getting modern reimaginings and updates. So yeah, I attempted that thing just now where I let off the accelerator at the top of the loop, and TJ stopped and indeed fell straight down to pick up whatever it was that was in the middle of the loop, so that was nice. But yeah, as we can see at the bottom here, I am behind Roberto, who is 2-player, but he's ahead of me So he's actually in first place, and I'm in second, on the bottom right UI there. Confusing me. There must be some kind of homing on those missiles. I keep getting hit. It's crazy. I'm not really keen on that. Yes, Patrick, please. Too many loops. I'm falling behind. With all my nitros, I might be able to catch up just by spamming a lot here. Roberto is a fair bit ahead. I wonder if I can shoot some missiles. If they do home in, that might help. I haven't seen evidence of a jet propulsion power in this game as of yet, but I haven't also been doing many loops, so it might still be the case that I need to unlock it secretly by doing loops in certain places. Alright. Oh, you know what else they did? Lost in Blue, which is an interesting sort of desert island survival RPG that was an update of the Survival Kids series on Game Boy. So yeah, Lost in Blue, the Hawaii studio did the first one of those, but there were two more after that. That were also on DS, and then another one on Wii. That I've heard good things about, and I've been meaning to try them. Yeah, okay, DDR's definitely Konami. So Konami did Dancing Stage Mario Mix for the GameCube, as well as the countless other installments of the series. The home versions, you get like a flexible mat to put on the floor that you then tread on. It's not quite as good as having a solid stage because the mat can move and stuff. So what's the other one I was thinking of? Pump It Up, maybe, is a Korean version. I think what confused me is that I remember an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where Yami does a dance battle against Johnny Steps while he's on a date with Taya. And I only remember this because of the Abridged series. And they're playing a DDR type game, but I don't think it's the actual DDR game. And Konami owns Yu-Gi-Oh! So I figured if Konami owned both DDR and Yu-Gi-Oh!, then why would they not be playing actual DDR machines in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show? So I think that's why I got confused there. Some cognitive dissonance. Oh, is this a new cup? Did I start a new cup? What's going on? What cup am I on? Oh, did I go back to the start? Yeah. Moo Moo and then Crystal thingy. I did a whole course just there for no reason. I was too busy talking. Alright, we'll change character now. Let's try Yulia. No, actually, let's... No, okay, never mind. I'm locked in. So, yeah, I did actually accidentally pick Crystal Cup again. So I did this one. Gobi Go-Go, yeah, I didn't comment much on that, but that was the desert one with the camels. Alright, there's one new course here, so we'll do it, I guess. What else do we have? I-Beam Rally. Clear advanced to unlock. Interesting. Well, I guess I'll continue. Okay, so now we're Yulia, the Russian nanotechnologist whose secret project is apparently what caused the food service robot to go nuts or whatever happened there. So she's deeply involved in the plot. But yeah, here we are in the jungle of what seems to be South America with the ruins in the background. It might actually be Southeast Asia now that I look at it. Yeah, it seems like a kind of Angkor Wat type temple. So could be in Thailand or Singapore or something. Actually, Singapore is mostly city. Oops. Ooh, we're getting very low on petrol. How do we get more? I don't know where the power-ups are. See, that's the problem. Empty. Ah, my accelerator's not even working. The only way I can go forward is by boosting now. That's interesting. Okay, so running out of gas does not immediately disqualify you. You have the opportunity to continue rolling along and then using boosts to give you a little spurt of acceleration. That's really cool. Okay, but yeah, we got first, so that's nice. Okay, we're back here again, that's fine. The next few stages I think are repeats, so we'll just have a chill time going through that. Oops. Now, what I really want to find out for each racer is what their animal buddy looks like. Oh, did I hear? I did. I heard a cat. Yulia is now the best character because she has cats. Actually, no, I think the wallabies is still better. Oops. I think Yulia is falling a bit too much into the sexy blonde Russian trope, but that's okay. Oops. She has cats, so she's cool in that way. Yeah, so I think I got the tire power up now, which means I will lose less speed over rough terrain. Oh, brutal. But yeah, kitty cat, yay! Very cute. Whoops. It's all too easy. All too easy. So, yeah, what I like about this game is that it combines racing with these platforming elements. It's not just a game where you're going through a course and trying to beat other racers. There's all these elements where you're doing different kinds of jumps to get to different elevations. There's paths through the level. And, okay. Ah. Low on gas again. Oops. Yeah, I'm done. That's too bad. Does retry get me back on the same course? It does. Oh, we'll keep going, I guess. I want to show off all the races, I suppose. Yeah, you got to take the jumps. You got to take the landings properly. Otherwise, ugh. It's all too easy to crash and burn. Yeah. Ah. So yeah, this is kind of a subgenre of games that are side-on games and you're in some kind of vehicle, but there are these sort of adventure-y, platformy elements to them, where traversal is just as important as going fast. At least, depending on the mode you're playing, I guess, but I really do like this genre. I think it might have started with games like Bike or Die, which is a game that probably got a release on a lot of different platforms, but where I first saw it, and I think its native platform actually was the Palm Pilot, those old digital pocket assistants that were kind of a craze before smartphones were invented and completely replaced them. So there was sort of a little group in, not in my school, but a friend, and actually my spouse had one, I believe, at the same time, but I think the biggest proponent of them was our mutual friend who had one and used it at school. But of course, as with things like graphic calculators and school students, the main thing they were used for was games, of course. So you could get all sorts of crazy games on Palm Pilot. It was in a similar way to the early days of smart devices. It was kind of a bonanza of indie experimentation, you know? Whoopsie. Because you could publish a game for the platform with easily and distribute it through the internet, through computers, and then people would sync it over. I don't know. I feel like I'm over-explaining this, but it's just this ecosystem thrived for a few years, and then it completely dried up when people started to realize how useless Pocket, Pilot, Palm, whatever they're called, how useless they really were. And of course, they were completely overtaken by the smartphones and such when that revolution happened. It sort of overlaps with Java phone games, and I've spoken several times about that whole era on these streams before, and how they were kind of cool, but dang. But yeah, point is, Bike or Die was a really cool game. It was less about racing and more about precision. The idea was that you had leaning controls, so you're on a bicycle actually, and you're a stick figure, and all the aesthetics are very minimalist and just line drawings and vectors and stuff. Not vectors, but just very simple lines. But it was a traversal challenge more than it was about getting good times or anything, which is what vehicle games normally lend themselves towards naturally. This is the lap, yeah? Okay, there we go. So the game was about methodically... Oh, there's a golf course section. I always skip that, but that's a nice little addition. Yeah, so it's about methodically sort of traversing this landscape, often doing very tricky maneuvers to try and get past obstacles. And there'd be things where like there's a low ceiling, so you have to lean back. There are a series of like narrow platforms that you had to sort of edge over but not fall through. All these kinds of challenges. You might be familiar with things like it if you've played the more modern series like Trials, Trials HD, Trials Fusion, things like that. And that's another game that I actually put a lot of time into a couple of years ago when Ubisoft sort of took over the Trials franchise, if you want to call it that. And they released Trials Frontier on the consoles, current gen. But to accompany it, they released a smartphone game called Trials Frontier, and I played tons and tons of that. It was very addictive, and it had cross-compatibility things where you could unlock stuff in Fusion by reaching certain milestones in Frontier, and I believe that was done through Uplay integration, of course, which has sort of been de-emphasized in recent years, I think. What's that beeping? I don't know. Anyway. What is that beeping? I'm not running out of gas. Oh, I have no nitros left. I was trying to nitro boost, but I didn't actually have any. So I've got some now. Plenty. Ah. Every time I fall for that. So yeah, Trials Frontier it did have a strong racing component, but I think ultimately what caused me to stop playing it was it leaned heavily on these free-to-play mechanics. It was distributed for free, and then there were all these mechanics like you had so much energy to do levels, and there was crafting, so to get materials you could spend money, and it eventually became an endless grinding loop, at which point I stopped. But it was a lot of fun just to play through it. I wish I knew what the cats did, but just the fact that you have the little animal following you around I think is reward enough for me. Yes, so let's see. So Trials Frontier was good, and it's still available, of course. I actually did get Trials Fusion at some point a long while after its release when it was pretty cheap, but I think I tried to do that integration stuff. It only gives you a few bonus cosmetic items, I think. Maybe it unlocked a level or two, but I don't know. I tried to do it at one point, and I don't know, it was a bit... I couldn't figure it out. But I haven't seriously sat down and played Trials Fusion despite owning it for a little while now. Maybe I'll give it a go after reminiscing about it today. Anyway. Yeah, these sort of side-on motorbike games, there's plenty of them. Of course, my favorite one of these type of games, oops, that was quite a complicated little setup. Yeah, my favorite one of these games would be Jelly Car, which was similar to Bike or Die. It was kind of this indie experimental kind of thing that was, okay, no gas left, have to get by just on the nitro boost. See if we can pick up some more petrol on the way. There we go. We're nearly at the end anyway. Yeah, there it is. But I was in third place, too bad. Well, how did we do? I came out on top. Good. Hooray! Oh, great. Dave the Bull, new character. That's lovely. So, do we have access to that other cup? It said I had to clear... Oh no, I can do it. Okay. So this is good. I'll try that out. And I guess I'll try out the new character. I wanted to at least... Yeah, let's go with the Brazilian guy. Yes, sir. He really wants to be in the US Army. By the way, everyone has different stats, but I haven't really been looking at that. So, 2 more cups to go. So here's a new racetrack, Iron Beam Rally. Construction site. Plenty of red girders. So I hope Gibbon feels right at home. Oops. I wonder if there will be any gorillas on this construction site. And I also wonder what Big Army's animal body is going to be. There it is. Oh, it's a little tank. How cute. My good, the R. Oh, that doesn't seem to help that much, actually. The little rough patches are still slowing down quite a bit, even with the R. Which is supposed to be the tire upgrade. Okay, I got an S and an SS. Don't know what any of this junk does, man. I'm very confused. But we're still doing pretty well, apparently, so that's not a problem. Yeah, luckily these courses are pretty short. I'll have plenty of time to show off most of the content in the game, I think. Yeah, so I was talking about Jelly Car. That's actually one of those... I mean, I talked about the smartphone revolution. I got it on my iPod Touch when I first had that, which I use mainly for games or listening to audiobooks. When I also had an iPod Nano and a dumb phone. So I was carrying 3 things around at once all the time. And then when I eventually got a smartphone, I replaced all 3 of them. But anyway, Jelly Car, there were 3 installments. I don't know if the first one was a Flash game or what originally, but I certainly had it on iPhone or iOS App Store. And it was really fun. There were 2 more. Eventually, I think it was acquired by Disney or something, and then one of the games had some Disney tie-ins for some of their TV shows. It was pretty strange, but you know, it was more levels, so that was fine with me. But yeah, it was a really cool game where your car was made of jelly. It's all in the title. But what that meant was that everything in the game world was kind of flexible and blobby in texture. So everything would be undulating and wiggling all the time. but not too much. Like, it wasn't off-putting or nauseating or anything. It just meant that when you landed after a fall, you would sort of go... yeah. Like, your impact would have this trampoline effect on your surroundings, and your car would deform in really satisfying ways. I don't know, it was just really cool. Woo, okay. But yeah, that was certainly all about puzzle platforming a lot more than racing or having different kind of gimmicky tasks to do. And it was a lot of fun, but the setup, of course, was your car, so you have those kinds of controls with acceleration and brake. I think there was a rotation kind of factor in there too, as there is in a lot of these motorbike games. It's not really playing into things very much here, but in trials, to get good sort of jumps and get faster times, it's really important to lean forward or back at different times, depending on the course layout. So if you're leaning forward, your jump will have a different trajectory. You'll be able to take certain obstacles easier, like if there's a series of small humps, you lean forward over them because you don't want to catch air going off them, it'll just mess you up. And if you lean back, you get more air off jumps. And it's also about how you react to upcoming things. Anyway, that is often a factor in these things. But I think the control scheme's a little more simple here than, compared to trials, which I'm actually grateful for. Because there's enough going on in these courses without having to worry about your seating position on the bike as well. So yeah, Jellycon, check it out. I hope it's still available. I had a lot of fun with it. I sort of think of Carmageddon as a 3D equivalent to that kind of game, because while the theme of that is about like violence and destruction and stuff, what I really liked about it was just using your car as a traversal tool to get around these big expansive levels that are full of secrets and different things to discover in different areas that you can go through. That's what I really liked about Carmageddon. And you don't get that kind of sense of exploration from a 2D game like this. But yeah, the idea that the focus is on traversal rather than just going through races in a specific way. I don't know, it's not too different really. Like, my goal here is still to get through quickly, but the fact that I'm doing it by taking like these elevated routes and these strange jumps and things, it's that element of surrealism and untethered from reality kind of thing. Makes it really cool. I don't know what I'm saying. That doesn't really have anything to do with Carmageddon, but it's a similar feeling that I get. I guess it's forgetting about realism and being a racing simulation and focusing more on making like a bizarre and fun kind of movement system and environments. Anyway, I don't know. I think I'm rambling. So let's talk about this course. It's pretty nice. Sort of East Asian. I can't tell whether it's supposed to be Chinese or Japanese. Those sort of cornices definitely look like they're Chinese inspired. Oh. We've got the dragons and such. The signs appear to be inspired by calligraphy. Very cute stuff. I also saw a pig before wielding a naginata or something. Where are we? Oh, we're in first. We're alright. Close to the end now. I think I just lapped someone. Ah! Cool. Okay, so that should be that cup done. Congratulations. Okay, I think that means we're up to the last cup. So why don't we go ahead and do that and use the bull character that we just unlocked. Oh, no, I would have to actually pick the bull in the previous screen, wouldn't I? Yes, so as you can see, the first course of that cup was the Lagrange point one that I was talking about, based on an old Konami RPG. So that's a really cute reference. I haven't played the game, but I know it's sci-fi themed. I don't know. I'm sure if you've played it, you might recognize some imagery, but we're just going to play the course, I guess, and appreciate the spaciness. And yeah, the absurdity of a bull riding a motorbike. And I don't know if this was actually mentioned. Hang on, I'll pause for a second, but in the... yes, see, I didn't read the bios before because those characters weren't unlocked, but now that we've got Dave, I'll tell you what the manual has to say about him, or at least this IGN walkthrough write-up, what it says. So Dave is an escaped bull with a mind for revenge. By watching motocross riders ride off the backs of his parents and friends, is that really a thing? They ride on the backs of bulls and cows? That's cruel. Yeah, he learned to ride dirt bikes by watching them, to extract revenge on humans. If he wins, he will not accept the 10,000 cheeseburgers for obvious reasons. So yeah, some animal rights there. So I wonder what Dave would have to say about the food service robot exactly. But anyway, the robot, we might unlock it by completing this cup. But I'll tell you right now, its name is Omega 0605. It's from Antarctica. I'm gonna need some petrol pretty soon. There we go. By the way, Dave's animal companion appears to be a pig, judging by the sound and the look. So that's pretty cute. Having that little tank running around behind you. Very nice. Oops! Oh no, quick. Okay, as long as we don't crash while... Oops! You know what? Just because we're this far, I'm going to use the rewind function a little bit. Because with the number of nitros I have, I'll be able to get to the end of this course even without having anything in my gas tank. So there we go. And I'll tell you that Omega is a food service robot altered by penguins in Antarctica to attack scientists that have been running tests on them for years. The penguins found a robot and used spare dirt bike parts to fix and modify him. He serves coffee to them in his free time. One of the scientists, Yulia, performing the tests, came up with a nanomachine that reconstructed the penguin's DNA, which gave penguins the ability to fly. When the robot was protecting the penguins, he was accidentally injected with the nanomachine. That's when things started to go wrong. So that just makes absolutely no sense at all, and is amazing. So great. Like, the penguins started to fly because of the nano machine that reconstructed their DNA, but the same nano machine affected the robot in some way. It's all very strange. But yeah, there's no reverse, so once you're on that sort of loop, that series of loops, you're kind of committed to it. Ah, nuts. Ah! Yeah, I'm having trouble. Woo! Yeah! Whoops. Yeah, I don't think the backflips and the front flips actually have an effect in this game. Like in the previous one, they would give you secret power-ups, but because the animal body power-ups are sort of lying in the open in this one, I'm wondering if that's even a factor in this installment. Eh. Oh, nice. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, next week I think I won't be streaming at my usual time because there's going to be some kind of community event that I'm participating in. I can't say too much right now because it hasn't been officially launched, but I will be doing my stream next week 24 hours later than usual. So just keep that in mind for next week. Given I haven't heard from him in a while, so he might not be watching right now, but this is the loop that I'm just having super trouble with. Yeah, we're not going to do well in this race. But I do have 34 nitros. I think everyone's already completed the race at this point. Ugh. Yeah, that wasn't so good. Dave. Everyone has stuck once again. What? Game over? I don't get it. Okay, so I quit to give me the chance to pick another character. Because we want to give Pohaku a try. Oh yeah. Actually, I shouldn't have done that because I'd already passed one track, but okay, we'll get to see Lagrange point again. By the way, the Lagrange point is the point at which a body in orbit will stay in a stable orbit. It's a point in space between two gravitational objects. At which point its orbit will not decay because it's being held in a stable sort of stasis between them. Okay, so Pohaku's animal friend is a little fish who is just traversing along the land somehow. We won't ask too many questions, but that's pretty cute. I appreciate that. So I think that means the only one we haven't seen. Oh, we haven't seen Roberto, but there's also the robot if we get to unlock him after this. Yeah, so Pohaku didn't have too much going on in his bio. He's a dirt bike racer. He wants the food to pay back some debts he owes, apparently. And he's kind of a tough guy, it looks like. But he's the Hawaiian rep, which most likely comes as a result of the development studio being located there, but that doesn't make him less valid as a character, of course. He's not just some kind of token. Although I do still feel like his design overlaps a bit too much with big armies, but oh well. And like, the dark skin actually is a result of different ethnicity if we're going by the fact that Pohaku is a sort of native Hawaiian islander type. Because, well, anyway, I always feel weird talking about ethnicity stuff. Anyway. Who's still watching? Oh, I've got a few people watching apparently. How do you like that? Welcome to the stream, friends. Feel free to jump in chat because I'm feeling lonely here. Given's still here. Good. Do you know anything about that community event? We do need to sort some things out for it because while I have my name down, I still feel a little lacking in the technical challenges that will need to be overcome. But yeah, we can talk about that later. Suffice it to say that I'll be streaming a cool game next Thursday at my usual time, just one day later. Oh no, it's one of these loops. Alright, we made it. Hopefully I don't get stuck there again so much. Ah, he's eating. Yeah, no worries. I was just missing the chat because nobody was talking. But yeah, apparently there's going to be all sorts of things to do with that. An art contest and different community engagement things. But yeah, I'll wait until it hasn't really been kicked off officially. But I'm excited about it. Yeah, what other contests are there? I mean, I don't know if we can talk about them actually, because, you know, it's really up to the organizer. Oh, Danger Master's here too. Hello, sorry, just trying for some sympathy. Yeah, she's doing a big sorting and organizing spree. I saw some pictures that she sent me. Game over? What? Why? Why did that happen? I don't understand. That same thing happened last time. Is it because I didn't place well enough? Alright, this time, serious time. We're going to try hard. We're going to be an excellent motocross champion. Whoops. We're going to be an excellent motocross maniac. Or a maniac racer, or whatever it was called in Europe. By the way, the cover art is pretty similar between the two regions, but it's actually a bit more zoomed in on the European one, so you get a better look at the characters. But, or was it vice versa? I don't remember. But anyway, the American cover, which is what I elected to put on the sides of the screen, as you can see, there was a much cleaner scan of that online, which is why I picked it. But there's a couple other differences. I should start using my weapons too, that'll help me get a better place. In the European version, but not the North American version, you can actually see like a missile item being shot between the two races. Oh great, I'm out of gas again. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the missile's been removed from the American version, and things have been shifted around a bit. It's pretty standard practice because they have to fit the different logos on. Whoopsie, that's not good. Ooh, there's gas. Yes. Now I don't like using the mine pickup because it's just as likely that I will come around and run over my own mine as I will slow down an opponent. But oh, that was the end. Oh, that snuck up on me. Second place. That ought to be good enough, surely. Don't game over me again. See? I got 50 points. I'm in the lead. Yes. Moving on. Good. I do love the fish. It's very strange and fun. Yeah. I could be doing flips and stuff, but I'm trying to be careful about how I land. Flip it. Oh, what was that? Was that a missile or something? I guess. And yeah, there are some obstacles on courses that are unique to each course. There's giant mushrooms on this one, and if you run into them, you'll crash. You can actually boost through them though. I like these little sprites. One thing I like a lot in pixel art games is when the characters are very small, and you just have enough detail to just get the idea of them. So they've done a good job here with the limited size of the sprites of making each one look distinct and interesting. So that's cool. Okay, am I in first? I am, but I'll use the missile anyway. Nope, I got a mine, apparently. And that might come back to bite me. Oh no, I'm in the last track. Lap. Yeah, shorter laps on that course. They vary between 50 seconds and 20 seconds, depending on the course, it seems, from what I've noticed. Yeah. I don't recall specifically seeing one, but there were definitely Moai heads in this game. And I believe it was the symbol for the Blue City track was one of those Easter Island heads. That's a staple of Konami games. They appear in lots of them. I believe it started with like Gradius, which was a shooter. Was it Gradius? Yeah, Gradius. Where the Moai heads of Easter Island appear as enemies, and they've been referenced in many other Konami games since then. But they also appear a lot in Japanese popular culture in general. They just seem to be a thing that just has been attached to for some reason, I don't know. I mean, they're a strange and mysterious kind of object that captures the imagination. But yeah, they've also become a staple Easter egg in Konami games. You'll see them everywhere if you start looking. Whoops. What on those I have? Oh yeah, the other 2D sort of racing game that this kind of reminds me of is Uni Rally, which was the unicycle game on the SNES, which has a complicated history. I think there was some kind of trouble with it and got pulled from store shelves or something. Made by DMA Design, who later became Rockstar. I think that's true. Anyway. That's very much on the racing side of things. The courses are kind of complicated and abstract, but it's really all about getting good speeds and beating your opponents, and little in the way of like aesthetic, because it's all just sort of the same strange background. Didn't want to do that loop, but luckily Big Army took the same loop and crashed at the same time, so I managed to stay ahead of him. There we go. Good on you, Pahaku. Yes, what was the thing? Uni Rally. Yeah, it's fine. I did not quite catch that, but that's Omega the Robot. Oh, there's the credits. So, yeah, I got through all the cups, and now we see the credits. And as you can see, we've got Japanese names there, but also other sort of American kind of names. I don't know who the yellow creatures are. I guess that's the adoring public. Kind of less detailed background people, sprites. Don't know what's happening there. While riding invisible bicycles, apparently. Lexi and TJ are gonna fight. Or something. I don't know. A herd of kangaroos chases off TJ. Those are sort of the two mascots of the game, as you can see on the cover art. So here's Omega the Robot, who we haven't really seen so far. So what I still want to do with this game is check out what are the animal companions of Roberto and Omega, and then we'll check out some of the minigame stuff. Yeah, penguins are another big Konami thing. They have a few penguin-related games ever since Penguin Adventure on the MSX, one of Kojima's first projects. You can actually see Sunny playing it on her PSP during a cutscene in Metal Gear Solid 4. Which, actually, come to think of it, was it even released on the PSP? Maybe she got an MSX emulator. It's pretty easy to get illegitimately signed emulators onto your PSP. I should know. I just played through Spyro Season of Ice that way. Okay, here we go. Nice splash screen. Cute characters, love it. That's really nice. It's a good little cast. Of course, this is their only appearance. They never came back for anything. They would do well in a kind of Snowboard Kids style game. Maybe New International Track and Field or something, you know? Something like that. Anyway, that was that. So why don't we do a time attack, actually? Attack mode. Yeah, time attack or point attack. I don't know what point attack is. Why don't we find out? Attack mode, point attack. So we'll pick Roberto. With his silly European accent, of course. Alright, and we can pick whatever course we want. Ooh, there's ones we didn't actually see. Mobius bands. That does not sound familiar. Wonton Park, okay. So definitely Chinese. Okay, let's go to Mobius bands, which we haven't seen. Oh, this is, yeah, seizure warning. That's really distracting. I don't like that. Anyway. Oh, okay, so the idea is you go different courses, different, like, track segments to find all the tokens that are on those segments. Wow. It's a giant roulette table in the background. This is really trippy. The graphics are amazing and confusing. It's blowing my mind and hurting my eyes. And I haven't seen any animals. Just a lot of tokens. Woo! Good. Roberto. You silly man. Put a helmet on! Magus seems to be the only one who has a helmet type thing. Although I assume it's part of his head. The penguins did reconstruct his broken body using spare dirt bike parts after all. Oh, my eyes. I have to stop. I'm sorry. This is terrible. In fact, there were no... I didn't see any, like, pickups. So why don't we just go to the first track. I'm the man, I think he said. Nice Swiss accent. Yeah, so we'll just go to Mukau Stadium. I know there were some easy pickups there. So we just want to see what animal buddy everyone gets. Ooh. Got it. What was it? Oh, it's a little fangirl. So Roberto is followed around by his groupies, apparently. That's funny and potentially problematic. Oh well. Oh, okay. Well, that's all I really wanted to see. But let's check out Omega now, and then we can do some minigame stuff. So Omega is just in here. Whoa. Nice. And they're using the Greek ladder. Okay. Oh, actually, now that I look closely, I believe the stands are entirely populated by cows. So those aren't humans watching me race back there. The reason this is the Moo Moo Stadium is because all the spectators are actually cows. So I guess in this world, Dave is not so unusual, which just makes it even more messed up that people are actually making cheeseburgers. Because if cows have enough sentience to attend sporting events and drive motorbikes, then I think slaughtering them for their meat is not really okay. But anyway, here is a Magus Companion. It's like a small robot version of himself who just runs along behind him. So that's cute. It's actually kind of funny that Omega is the one who looks the most like the motocross racer that we saw in the previous few games. But that's because, yeah, he's been built using motocross parts or whatever those penguins did. We've only seen that one penguin. Actually, what stage was that penguin on? Because if it was the North Pole, that's completely wrong. Like, any child should know this, that penguins only live in the southern hemisphere, especially around the South Pole and Antarctica. And polar bears only live in the Arctic near the North Pole. They never meet, and that's how you can tell them apart. That's one way anyway. The other way, of course, is that the Arctic doesn't have any landmass. I mean, you've got, you know, Siberia and Canada and stuff, but around the North Pole itself, it's just a big ice cap floating on the ocean, whereas Antarctica actually is a landmass that's covered in snow and ice. Anyway, so that was a Mega. He's pretty cool, I guess, but by virtue of him appearing to look a lot like ye old standard motocross racer, he ends up being less interesting than a lot of the other racers who have sort of colourful designs and stuff. So let's go back to Lexi, my favourite, the Aussie, to play some of these extra modes. So yeah, it's not just all the 2D racing platforming stuff in this game. We've also got these modes that you can play over the link cable with other people, or you can play them with the computer. So this is bomb tag. We're on a very small loop. As you can see, I'm very quickly progressing around this course, which you can see on the bottom of the screen how quickly everyone loops around. Not many nitros left. I better save them in case I get the bomb. What's the timer? Yeah, okay, so we're trading off the bomb between each other by passing each other and making contact. But whoever is left with the bomb when that time runs out, they're going to be in trouble because of explosions and death and stuff. A lot of monkeys back there in the trees. Oh, how did I get that? Oh, I guess it blew up. And then it reverted to me for some reason. Possibly randomly, possibly a cycle. Either way, I guess somebody lost a point, I don't know. Has somebody been eliminated? Yeah, there's a grey silhouette on the bottom there, 4P. And I keep passing the same people. So yeah, I think someone got eliminated. So we're going to keep going until there's one person standing. Yeah, there they are. They've become a ghost. Is that Pohaku? Can't tell. When all the colour is sucked out of their design. Yeah, there we go. So Yulia just got blown up too. So we've got two ghosts. Just me and Roberto left. Going to teach him a thing or two about safety. When carrying a bomb, always, I don't know. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb, you know? So there we go. That's bomb tag. Pretty cool. Change course. Okay, so bomb tag is always going to be in that seaside locale. Okay, hidden lab. Ooh, this is interesting. This actually adds to the lore. Because as you can see, it's a lab where some penguins are being experimented on, so that all ties in with the backstory. Jump and get coins to earn points. Watch out for obstacles and speed changes on the conveyor. Okay, I think I can do that. Get points, watch out for the conveyor. Whoa! Okay. Now I'm far behind everyone, and I'm missing out on those lovely coins. Oh, I see. This is a mechanic that I didn't have any cause to figure out until just now. But if you do a wheelie and then nitro boost, you do a jump. I think I might have done that accidentally several times during the championship runs, but I just never understood exactly what it was I was doing. But yeah, that's a thing. You wheelie back, you boost, and you get air because the boost has that much thrust power to it. So I don't know how much that game mode actually added to my understanding of the lore, but at least we're getting a look at the Antarctic lab where those events took place, so that's nice. Oops. So I'm just going to jump over the penguins. Ah, yeah. How many? Okay, I have tons and tons of nitros, so I'll use a few. But then you get too close to the penguins. Yeah, so it's all a big trade-off. Oops. Ah. See, if I could do mid-air nitros like I could in previous games after getting the power up, then I would just soar over everybody. I don't know why it ended there, because according to the little ticker in the bottom of the screen, we were nowhere near the end of that line of this one-dimensional course. One more time, and then we'll move on to the last mini game. Ah, yeah, I'm not good at this. But I like seeing people go flying after a crash. Very silly. Just floating off the right side of the screen. Kind of reminds me of Road Rash, actually, another motorbike game that I would have played on a demo disc on my computer back in the day. Ah. Yeah, I don't know why it ends there. That's weird. But yeah, Road Rash, what I liked to do sometimes was accelerate to my maximum possible speed, try and just be going as fast as I can, and then as I'm racing along between these buildings and over hills and stuff, I try and maneuver into oncoming traffic and as fast as I can head on smash right into a car. Now again, do not try this at home. This is obviously a thing that is only to be done in a video game. When you're riding a real motorbike, stay in your lane, don't crash into things on purpose. But yeah, when you run into a car, because of your great speed, you're flung off the front of your motorbike into the air, and if you have enough speed and have strong enough of an impact, your launch will be such that you are just in the air for so long and you're just flying and anyway, it was fun. It was a bit of fun that I found to do in that game, apart from the usual racing and hitting other people to knock them over. Of course, after your graceful flight through the air over many hundreds of meters, very unrealistic, you would then have to walk all the way back to your bike to pick it up and get back on, which was the slow part, especially if you got subsequently knocked down by other racers or by the traffic. Anyway, that's my experience of Road Rash. Anyway, final mode, I guess. We'll be Lexi again. Hi. I'm Aussie. So yeah, zombie attack. Destroy as many zombies as possible before crossing the goal. Use nitro for more power. So we have, again, a unique background. And I believe we should get to see some unique sprites here in this mode. Whoops. There they are. Some zombies rising up out of the ground. We got skeletons with capes. We got... Oh, okay, so after someone else has run down a zombie, they will appear as a skeleton, I guess. I think. Or... Oh no, so that's a different kind of zombie, and they're worth different points. So the big hulking man zombie gets you 5 points, the lady zombie gets you 2, and the skeleton gets you 1, it looks like. So that's interesting. 39 points, how did I do? 3rd place, not too good. Let's try again. But yeah, you can try and get on different layers of the course to try and knock down zombies that other people haven't already got. But yeah, it seems like maybe lower value ones will pop up if someone else has knocked over the higher value ones, maybe? Maybe that's how it works. But yeah, actually I flipped that around. The skeletons are 2 and the lady zombies are 1. Yeah, not so good. 2nd place this time. It doesn't last very long though. Like, this would probably be more fun if it was longer, maybe. Staying out ahead of people is also good, but then if you use too many nitros, you need the nitro actually to knock them down. And you can't knock them down until they fully emerge from the ground either. I'm gonna just slow down here, just to get a good look at these zombie sprites. Attractive. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not gonna score high this round. But yeah, it's a very short loop, it looks like, that you go through a few times. Yeah, I think these minigame modes were, you know, kind of an afterthought maybe. There's certainly not as much content here as there are in the main race mode. Oh man, how is it that they all... And now I've run out of turbos. Oh, I got more. I went down to 0 and then more just appeared. Is it because I used them to knock down some zombies? Do you get more? Yeah, you get more when you hit zombies. Okay. That makes sense. So I guess I can feel free to spam a bit more at the start. We're gonna master this mode. Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with this game. I think it's got a lot of character and... Oh, yeah, no nitros. There's no chance now because I can't defeat any more zombies. Yeah, I've actually been meaning to do this stream for a long time. It was one of the things I had planned for the end of 2017 that I just put off a few times, and then I decided to do my great project in 2018. Grand project of playing only games where a woman was the star, with a few other kind of related themes here and there. So this is something that, yeah, I've been thinking about for over a year, this game. I was going to put more focus on the first Motocross Maniacs on Game Boy Color, actually, but then when I looked into it a bit more and realized how fleshed out this was and the addition of the different characters, that appealed to me a lot more, so I decided to focus on this, and I think it was the right choice. If you're interested, you can go back to Motocross Maniacs 2. That had a lot of cool style about it, nice backgrounds. I'm sure there would be lots of other nice looking things as you go on through the game. I think it's sort of that classy Game Boy Color style of graphics, more than the almost garish at times colourful style of this game. Reminds me of things like Game & Watch Gallery games on Game Boy Color, and just a lot of other things that were natively made for that platform. The pixel art on them ends up looking really nice and stylish, whereas this one's a bit more out there, but it has a lot of sense of fun about it, which I really like. And I'm doing really badly on this zombie mode. But I think that we might be done there, because we've pretty much seen everything this game has to offer, and I hope you enjoyed it, because I was very impressed by it too. So yeah, there's the title screen, Motocross Maniacs Advance. Check it out. Check out Motocross Maniacs 2, aka Crazy Bikers as well. And yeah, I'll see you next week for that special game on Thursday. Later stream than usual. So thanks for joining me. This has been really good. See you next time. Bye.